Hello and welcome to the Short Take with me, Jake, and Alex.
That's me.
That is you. Do you want to hit us with that sweet, sweet ditty?
That sweet little ditty I always do. Again, don't know why you don't just use last week's, because it's the same every single week.
As I always say, every week, it sets the ambiance.
Well, here it is. This week's ditty. Billy, 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 ooh, billy, 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 ah, billy, 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 ooh, it's the Short Take.
Loved it.
Yeah.
I was a little bit longer than usual.
It's the same
It's
every
the same.
week.
Sorry.
What are
it's
you
the
talking
same.
about?
Sorry.
Time is an illusion.
That's a line from that thing, isn't it?
What?
Cool. The thing that's coming out in September. Don't hug me, I'm scared.
Oh, I guess it is, yeah. I just think it was a
That
general
makes sense.
thing. It's just a fact.
Yeah.
Time's illusion.
Welcome to the Short Take. I think I said that already.
Oh my God.
Episode 7 now.
Yes.
This week we watched Waiting, which is a film picked by me.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to know how I found this film?
Go on.
I was scrolling through the Brighton filmmakers Facebook group,
Yeah.
and someone posted it. And I was like, "Cool."
So this
it's under
literally
10
just
minutes.
came out as well.
It literally came out the 19th of June, and it is currently the 24th of June, so
Okay.
a week ago.
That makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah, it was very interesting watching at the beginning because I was like, oh, this looks a bit
How
like
quickly
Brighton.
did you clock it?
I mean, I pretty early on thought it looked like Brighton.
Did you
It
clock
wasn't
it from
until
the Pinocchio's graffiti?
I thought that's where it was, but like it was so out of focus that I didn't know for sure.
Yeah.
And like the way the framing was, I couldn't really tell where we were. It wasn't until the beach that I was like, oh no, it is Brighton. But
Okay.
I definitely
Oh, really?
thought it
Okay.
looks like it, but I
Yeah.
didn't know it was. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, yeah. No, I mean, obviously I knew it was Brighton because it was in
From
the
the
Brighton
get-go.
filmmakers group.
That makes sense.
But I did notice, I guess maybe I was looking for it, so yeah, maybe
Yeah,
that doesn't
maybe.
count. But yeah, I did notice the Pinocchio's graffiti quite early on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I was watching it with a different lens.
Mm.
No.
What's the synopsis,
The synopsis,
Jake?
yeah, that's what we're doing now. I'm going to read out a little bit of the synopsis. To view the movie as it was intended to be seen, please watch on the highest quality. Click the settings icon, quality, and then 2160p.
That's such a fuck.
Synopsis. A man is holding a sign in the middle of a crowded city centre. The sign reads waiting. But what exactly does it mean? Who or what is he waiting for? An abstract short shot in Brighton by the Italian Collegamento.
Don't look at me.
It's their first one that's published on YouTube, and it's their, I think, like all the comments say, it's their directorial debut.
Okay.
So I think they've kind of, I guess, just come out of uni or college or something, and they're just, it's their first film they've made.
Yeah.
So let's not be too mean. Let's keep it civil.
You haven't asked me.
What's the Alexopsis?
Can I say before I say my Alex Opus? In like the second episode, I think we say Alex Opus, or maybe it's no, I think it's like the third episode. You say what's the Alex Opus, and I say, have we? I don't think we've ever called it that. Literally, the first, second, and third episode we say Alex Opus.
Not in the first episode.
I'm
It doesn't
pretty sure
exist.
we do.
No,
I
'cause
swear.
that was Apparition.
Oh, you're
And that
right.
was filmed
Either
like,
way.
a year and a half before the other, before episode 2.
Beta episode.
Yeah. Best one we've done.
Well, the Alex Opus for this one is anyone can make a film.
I'm so glad I put that disclaimer in.
That's a really mean one.
Yeah. It's
Right.
like, if you just said it with a slightly different tone of voice,
Yeah.
it'd be like Ratatouille.
I
You've not
haven't
seen
seen
it, have you?
Ratatouille.
Anyone
There's
can cook.
my credits gone out the window. Everyone, like, well, his opinion's invalid. He hasn't
He
seen
hasn't seen
Ratatouille.
Ratatouille. The theme of Ratatouille is anyone can cook, but in a positive way.
Anyone can cook. Okay, no. So I don't want to be too mean. I just thought that was a funny thing to say.
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, I want to say, not my kind of short film, personally.
In what sense?
I'm not a fan of wanky short films. No, like, I'm trying to think how to explain it. I'm not a fan of abstract cinema. I'm not a fan of a lot of short films because they tend to veer towards abstract cinema, I would argue.
I guess you kind of,
Because
some
I think-
people think you have to.
I think it's because there's less budget, like
Yeah.
in terms of, or there's less market for abstract films. But there is a lot of filmmakers who want to make abstract stuff, which is great.
Yeah.
But I think because of that, a lot of abstract films end up being short films because of the fact, one, abstract films can be short films. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't need a feature. In fact, I think a feature length tends to hurt abstract films more than it helps.
Yeah.
And I think the films who don't get funded, and it's easier to make a short film than a feature film. So I think there is this weird correlation where I think abstract films end up becoming a lot of short films, if that makes sense, or a lot of short films.
Yeah, no, I can see that, yeah.
So first of all, I want to say it's not my cup of tea. That's not to say it's bad, just not my thing, right?
Yeah.
I thought there was a lot of really well shot stuff, some really good imagery. I actually thought the designs of some of the characters was pretty good, like the costume selection.
Yeah.
Like the suit and her dress and stuff, and then the suitcase was obviously very important. I thought that was a very cool looking suitcase.
It was cool, and it had something written on the side of it.
It had a British Museum.
British Museum, yeah.
Which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, very cool.
Like to that. I think a lot of the shots are really good. I think like the tilting camera, there's a lot of tilting camera. I guarantee that the filmmakers looked out the window on whatever day they filmed, and it was like that dense fog that was like in the air as well, not like ground level.
Oh, yeah.
And I bet they were like, fucking yes. That's exactly what we want.
Scored.
I'd be so curious if they reshot. Like if they had originally shot and then that happened.
Oh, and then they did it again. That would be really interesting to know.
Because I feel like they should have. Do you know what I mean? Like, in that case, you should. Especially with something like that's as simple to shoot as this. I didn't catch, actually. Was the main actor, was he one of the filmmakers? I say the main actor.
Wrote it.
He wrote it. Okay, so he was heavily
the director
involved in it.
wrote it.
Yeah, he's not just like an actor.
Art director, I think, as well.
Yeah, I saw the names popping up a few times in the credits.
Yeah, he came up a few times in the credits. Yeah.
So yeah, it is the sort of thing that you could get just done immediately like that because you're all involved in it. It's not like getting somebody. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not like you're working with an actor,
It
you
was
have to get
quite
them
a
back.
small group of people that made it.
Yeah. So really well shot, really good use of location, obviously with the beach. Super brave to get naked on the beach. Couldn't believe it.
Yeah, especially by
naked.
the West Pier.
Yeah, that's close.
If you go like a couple of miles down, there is.
I was swimming there the other day. It made me a bit uncomfortable to think his wang's just been floating about there. What if I swallowed a bit of his wang water? Yeah.
You were actually in the film. Did you
No, I'm swimming. I'm swimming next to go, what?
Your head just popped out behind one of the posts.
All that being said, it was very abstract. Personally, don't think it was a good script.
No, didn't enjoy
but I think
the script.
That might come from more of a place of me not liking the abstractness rather than it actually being a bad script, if that makes sense.
I think some of the elements that were meant to be abstract were like maybe missed the mark a little bit. To be honest, I don't know what you would change, but maybe a couple of small changes would have improved it a little bit. It felt like it was in two halves as well.
Yeah,
there was a lot of hard cuts to black that held the screen for like 2 or 3 seconds that really separated out sections of the film and made them feel like they were individual shorts.
Yeah, definitely. I think the moment I was a bit like, ugh, was when he talks to her and she says, what are you waiting for? And I think he says, waiting for life.
Yes.
And then he just packs his stuff and goes.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck does that mean? Does that have any relevance? I didn't take any meaning away from it.
No.
I thought there was some cool imagery, and I think I liked the whole concept of him putting all the clothes in the suitcase and walking into the ocean, then her, who he kind of made contact with, coming out of the ocean with the suit on. I think there's something interesting there. Yeah. Like in an abstract way. But I think that opening scene didn't lend to that.
No.
It just kind of almost gave context for her coming out of the ocean at the end. But then I feel like maybe that scene needs to be written a bit better. I think that
really...
Because there is more to it, obviously. Like, this guy clearly had a vision. He clearly is trying to say something.
Yeah.
I'd be very curious to know what it is. You said there was a poem in the thing.
There is a massive poem.
Copy that into the description.
I will, yeah. I'll copy it into the description.
And I wonder what... It's too long to read now.
It's way too long.
But I'm curious...
The quote at the beginning is the last couple of lines from the poem.
That makes sense. Yeah, there was a quote at the beginning.
There
was fine. Bit of a dense quote to throw at you.
It was a bit, and it was a bit like it doesn't flow
into the
tongue
scene
very well.
It doesn't
like that as well. Yeah,
it doesn't feel like I then took that and I was using it in the film. If that makes sense.
Yes. It was too abstract. Too abstract for the abstract
film. I do think that at the end of the day, the thing you have to think about is the fact that they made this, and like that in itself is impressive in making any short film.
Yeah, no, 100%.
And I think again, a lot of this looks fucking great. I think at the end when she's then holding the sign and there's the shot of her shadow, great shot. And like, I will say the imagery of him at the beginning holding the sign is like, it's a good image, and it's like, it stays in your mind. So then just seeing her shadow at the end, and you can see the silhouette of her holding the sign, it was enough to make me go, ooh, and link it back to the beginning in my head.
Yeah.
I think you didn't necessarily need the bit where it's flicking between her and him at the end. I thought that becomes a bit like
overkill,
pandery to the audience to be like, look, it's the thing. Don't need to do that. Just like fucking Joker. It's Joker. It's the Joker. Yeah. Never want to be the Joker. I think you could have gotten away with not having that bit in there. I feel like you could have gotten away with just having her stood there at the end.
I think change it to be more, because there was like, you kind of have the reveal of another person standing with the sign with the suitcase, and then also you cut to her walking out of the ocean.
Yes.
And then you slowly connect them together.
Yeah.
But that happens really fast.
Yes.
And then it switches to cutting between the guy.
Yeah.
Just cut the guy and like
edit
it more so that her coming out of the ocean is more of the reveal.
That's a really good point.
Not that makes sense anyway.
I think they could have done a really good tracking shot of like just going sideways up the beach of just like her feet and like her picking up the case and walking with it and not seeing her face. Because I feel like all you have to do is have like a shot of the tide coming in and out, right? Or just like right low down by the sand, the tide coming in and out.
Yeah.
And then you just see somebody walking out of that. And they're dripping wet. You know what's happened.
Yeah.
With them walking out, you don't even see them fully walking out. So I feel like, you're right. It should have like made it more of a point of you trying to connect. Like it should have been a proper like when we see her face at the end, it should have been like, oh shit. Yeah. Okay, so she's now like or he's like almost like it's a disease. He's given to her, and now she's
her kind of
going to infect someone else and go and step into the ocean. It's going to be a cycle.
Yeah.
But like, what does that mean? And it's annoying because it's when I say that, it's not like what does that mean? I have to find out. It's what does that mean? Like, what the fuck did I just watch? Like,
and it doesn't leave you with anything.
Yeah, which is a shame. But I think like clearly, again, the person has got something in mind and they are trying to say something. And I do want to know, but I think, I mean, if this is the first thing they've published, it's good. Like, it's way worse first short films I've seen.
Yeah.
This is pretty decent.
I mean, it's better than my one that we reviewed, I think.
I mean, technically, yeah. I mean, yeah, but I just think it just needs I don't know, maybe I'd be curious to know how many drafts he made of the script and stuff. I think maybe it just needed a few run-throughs and like a bit of like showing to people and being like, do you get this?
I mean, there was only like 4 or 5 lines of dialogue.
Yeah, but
in the whole thing, it was just that one conversation.
They were very important, right? Like I feel like that needed to be right.
It was ADS, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. It was noticeable, but it wasn't the worst ADR.
ADR, that's it. Yeah, ADR.
It's not the worst ADR I've ever heard. I've heard pretty bad ADR. And it's hard to do. Like, I don't understand how actors are able to, like, re-perform over themselves. I think that's bizarre.
Yeah, and be able to do it so perfectly as well. So, yeah, it wasn't bad. Yeah.
So, it's pretty good considering. But, yeah, no. It was decent. Not my cup of tea. Definitely a first short, but, like, not a bad first short.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no, I think it was admirable.
Yes,
I guess.
100%. 100%.
As you said several times, it's like it is obviously trying to say something,
and it's clearly trying to say something. I've seen a lot of these where like they're very clearly not about anything, but this is. It's just, I think, struggled a bit in getting that across.
Yeah, and that's the whole point of this kind of stuff, isn't it?
You
to
make
work
so that
out.
You can like So you look at that and you're like, what did I do? What did I do wrong that didn't convey something?
Yes.
And then by looking at that, you can improve.
I think
like, hopefully make more.
One thing that so this is the kind of the opposite way around to Bottle Rocket. The editing was super fast in certain places.
Yes.
But the pacing felt really slow.
Yeah, totally get that.
Which Bottle Rocket was the other way around.
Yeah, you're right. That's very interesting. Yeah, I definitely noted near the beginning some of the cuts were a bit jarring.
Really jarring,
Again, it's probably intentional. Don't know if it works.
No, I don't think it works for some of it. One thing I noticed that kind of, I guess it comes in with the quick edits. You never see, the canvas that they're holding that says waiting.
You never see the bottom of it.
You never see the whole thing in one shot. I thought it said something else underneath.
That's what I was waiting for, the reveal for it to say something underneath.
That's not
and that's not what it is. So I think it's something that I feel like I've definitely done it with stuff I've made, where like something you would never consider because you know the whole picture and you know what's going on.
You're not watching.
You're not thinking about that. You're not thinking about like, if I was watching this image for the first time, what would I be seeing? I think that's something really difficult to figure out. I'm still figuring it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you're totally right. spent a lot of the beginning of that being like waiting
for something.
When's it going to show the bottom of the sign? Because it also feels there's a lot of shots where it's panning up and down,
and it cuts
every time you see the bottom of it. Yeah, very bizarre.
Yeah, very, very weird. The something you mentioned, walking on the sand. It's obviously not sand; it's stones because it's Brighton Beach.
Yeah.
You see him struggling to walk over the stones.
Oh, I didn't notice that. Is that why there's that cut where he's walking down the beach and then it hard cuts to him in the water?
Yeah.
I wonder if that's
in
why.
the water he's struggling as well. You can kind of
which
see
is
it.
Fair. Like, I don't.
No, I love it. I think
maybe they
the
should
realism.
have just thrown him some like Crocs or something to wear when he's in the water,
Yeah.
so they could get a better image. But like, easy to say, hard to do.
Yeah.
We go to the beach all the time, and I never bring any flip flops or Crocs.
No.
And I always struggle into the ocean.
My flip flops broke over winter,
There you go,
yeah, I've just been walking on the stones. It's been horrible.
Fucking hell.
I love that realism from it. That really spoke to me.
Yeah, as a Brightonian,
Yeah.
that really spoke to me.
And also, he takes the suit off to go into the sea.
Yes, puts it in the case.
And she comes out of the sea
Yeah.
in a suit. If he has kind of become her, and that is the interpretation of the film, is this just a process to get more suits?
Because it's like this weird business.
Because she's wearing one, and there's also one in the suitcase.
I assumed that the suitcase in some way is some sort of magical object, not in a literal way, but in a metaphorical way, and that the suit he put in was him just stripping down and he steps in, and her emerging with the suit is the same suit from the suitcase, is what I would assume.
So she got dressed underwater.
Didn't get dressed, she just appeared, like, just one day, just like, bloop.
So there's more than one suit.
No, the suit, like, teleported from there onto her and she was in the water. What don't you get about this?
That's how they make their money.
God. What would would you put this above Smoker's Delight?
No.
No, and I wouldn't put it above Tickle
Sorry.
Monster. No, that's not fair. That's like comparing fucking, I don't know, Godfather to Wet Hot American Summer. It's not the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like, it's definitely not. But, again, not terrible.
No, not terrible at all.
No.
It was
they made
good.
it.
I would be really interested to see what their next one is.
100%. I want to watch it. We should link their channel in the description.
Yeah, I usually do.
Okay, good.
So I will do that. And one other thing to kind of, I guess it's talking about the editing and the pacing. When he's walking down the beach, when he like strips off and goes in the sea.
Yeah.
It felt like that scene from Monty Python.
Which one?
When he's running, when the knight is running towards the castle, and it's the same shot.
Oh,
of him running, and then he
yeah.
It really felt like
I know
that.
what you're talking about.
Maybe it's just because obviously because we live in Brighton.
Yeah, so
we
you
know
know.
the beach, so I know he's walking over the same mound 3 or 4 times.
To be fair, I didn't clock it. Like, it didn't.
Did you not?
No,
Okay.
like maybe it's because it's the first time I watched it. Maybe if I watched it again, I would spot that.
Yeah.
But I didn't clock it.
No, fair enough. And then there was also when he was getting undressed. Obviously, that's something we haven't talked about. The color. The first half of the film is all black and white, and then when it turns to her, it goes to color.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't clock that actually.
Did you
for
not
some
at all?
reason.
So yeah, from when the start of the film.
Is it still
to
black
when,
and white when he's on the beach?
Yes, it is. Apart from one shot,
Where
and I
it's-
think he
is it-
forgot.
Is
I
it the
think
post where it's like
Yeah,
the
it's
iron
rusty.
post? I think that's why I'm not thinking the rest of it's black and white for some reason because of
Okay,
that.
yeah.
Just that single shot. I remember.
I think it must have been an accident that they put
I
that
don't
in
know. I
colour.
feel like stuff
But
like that feels
maybe-
intentional sometimes.
It could be either.
I don't
You
know
what
if they forgot.
Because it's so close to when it switches to color. It could have been like a.
I didn't clock what the post said as well, and I'd be curious if they put that
Oh,
there,
I have no idea what that
or
said.
if they
It
had
was way
just
too
like
quick.
found it.
But yeah, the second half of it was in color when she comes out of the water.
Yeah.
It's all in color, and then you see him in color as well when it's crossing, hard cutting back. Don't know what that symbolizes. I'm sure it means something.
Summon.
It means something, yeah. Anything else for you to add?
No, I mean obviously we don't know the budget or anything for this, do we? I imagine it's not really got any budget.
It's like zero.
Yeah, it's probably just like stuff they have, or they might spend a few quid on it.
They
but
probably
like,
bought the suit and the suitcase.
yeah, I imagine.
And then probably nothing else.
Yeah.
I think they probably had the rest
Which
of
I
it.
think fair play. Like again,
Yeah.
they
Seems
made
like
it.
It seems like a close-knit group of people. I reckon they all came out of college or whatever at the same time.
100%.
So
was the
I
vibe.
doubt they paid for actors.
Yeah.
I feel like they had the camera and the stuff already. I don't think they... I mean, the fact that I think all of the audio is ADR. So
Seems like it. To be honest, it's probably easier to do.
Exactly.
For the most part, especially because there's only so little dialogue.
Yeah.
You might as well at that point.
Yeah, so maybe that's all recorded on a
Easier
phone
to film
as
in
well.
public as well. I don't think it's recorded on a phone. I don't think so. But then phones nowadays, you never know.
No,
like
they're quite good.
They are good.
I did a lot of the apparition stuff on a phone.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah, so it's doable.
Definitely.
So yeah, there's a strong possibility that all they had was a camera
Yeah.
And then, you know, their props and actors and stuff.
Yeah. I think that's it, isn't it?
I think that might be everything. Do you want to give us a quick little ditty?
A closing ditty? You mean the
Closing
same one I
ditty,
do
the same
every
one.
single time?
You got to close us out, you know. You got to calm me down.
Okay. Closing ditty. You've been watching a video
Lovely. Been looking forward to that all week.
There you go.
And it calms me down every time because it's always the same.
It's always the same thing, so it's like a comforting.
It's very comforting.
Very comforting.
Very, very. I will link the film and the channel as well. Definitely go and subscribe to them because they have like
I want
one
to see what
video,
they do
so
next.
I would love to see what they have to do next. And
filming.
if you fancy it, read that poem.
Yeah.
It's I think it's actually written about Brighton because it mentions a couple of places like Pembroke Road.
It's a curse, but if you put your clothes in this suitcase and walk into the ocean, you'll be the last person you spoke to.
Yeah, and all of our socials and blah 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 will be linked below. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.